darkness surrounds us. It's time to light up the night. It's time for Zero Dark 30 with John.
Yay! Cut out the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Zero Dark 30 and we're blasting off. Yes, we're back on the Prepared Mind channel. Suspension is done. Strike is still in place. Look out. You need to go sign up, folks, for all the other Prepared Mind channels. Look in the description down below. Go find them. Sign on. Subscribe, right? Because they could just disappear us. That's what the police want to do. That's what the police want to do. Oh, good God. Now, a man in Arkansas, been arrested. Police kind of busted through his door. Big, giant, burly policemen to arrest a father for piercing his son's ear. That's right. There was a criminal complaint made, and the boy wanted his ear pierced. It's not like he was being held down and tortured by the old man. Wanted his ear pierced. Someone complained. Somebody knew. Somebody found out. We can't have that. That is astronomically dangerous to have a child have his ear pierced. But you want to force Jim Jones juice on children, even infants? Thanks, Joe Biden. Right? You want to recommend and condone giving kids puberty blockers in school without their parents' consent? No problem. And of course, just pure old, plain old genital mutilation, girls cutting their breasts off, well, with the help of doctors, of course, not their dads or their moms. Look out. Folks, what is astronomically dangerous? What is basically normal, right? Normal is different in California than it is in Florida, than it is in Texas, than it is in Minnesota, than it is in Maine. I get it. So mostly normal, right? I'll, got to give a little bit of leeway, but good God, cutting kids' penises off. But what I really want to talk to you about this morning is something far more, well, astronomically dangerous. So I teased that they released the manifesto. They released the manifesto of the trans killer. Well, they hadn't. It was the bank killer's manifesto. And again, I say, why is it that these freaks all have manifestos? And why even use that phrase? Right? Anyways, manifesto typically is an explanation of what they were up to, what they believed in. Right? They leave a note. They write a note. They explain themselves. They want to be remembered. They want to be justified. Well, yeah, the bank shooter in Louisville, yeah, he was just a fruitcake. He was just a fruitcake. I mean, serious left-wing, anti-American, anti-freedom, anti-gun, anti-Trump fruitcake. But, yeah, I guess releasing his manifesto was just fine, where he talked about how he wanted to show it's easy to get a gun. Yeah, no shit, dumbass. And then it was, he was going to take as many people with him as he could. So, what about the transgender killer, mass murderer? What about that one, that manifesto? What about it? Why hasn't it been released? Well, the authorities there in Louisville, not Louisville, I'm sorry, traffic. They say that it is astronomically dangerous. That's right, folks. A manifesto is astronomically dangerous. How can a piece of paper be astronomically dangerous? Just a question. You know, we have the other shooter and their manifesto. We have manifestos of all these idiot left-wing people and left-wing kids that go on murderous rampages. We know what they were thinking. And what's on their mind? How come this one is astronomically dangerous? Well, we can start making some guesses. Well, there was a manifesto written by Karl Marx on the topic of socialism, which is what the Democrats want. And it has resulted in the murder of over 100 million people directly. So how bad could this transgenders manifesto be? We have Adolf Hitler's explanation, his struggle, his book you can still go to a library and get a copy of, called Mein Kampf, right? Because if we can't read what these idiots were thinking, how can we understand and protect ourselves from having those sorts of things happen again? That's the question mark behind it. That's the point of having freedom of press and speech and understanding and knowing crimes, right? That's why we need public explanation. Well, you see, John, because it is so astronomically dangerous that there would be copycat manifestos and murders. Well, that doesn't happen to normal people. You don't just say the word murder and then I'm like, oh my God, I've been triggered with the word murder and now I must go commit it. Sorry, it's not how it works. You have to be mentally deranged to commit these acts. You have to be out of your mind. You have to be smitten with a madness. You don't just become a mass murderer because someone showed you a manifesto. So, what's in this manifesto? That apparently is keeping some investigators up at night. Some descriptions have come out, letting us know how bad this thing is. I guess some of the descriptions of what this person wanted to do are very, very, very detailed. Very detailed. So, are they afraid of copycatters? Well, like I said, people can copycat, what the Soviets have done, what the Nazis have done. People can copycat what the Columbine shooters did. Someone could copycat what any of the shooters have done, or mass murderers, or knife slayers, or axe murderers, or clown murderers. Like that would be John Wayne Gacy. Anyone could duplicate that sort of stuff. So what is so bad? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm willing to venture a guess about what this fruitcake wrote. I bet this fruitcake wrote in detail about how it, because it does not qualify as a human, in my opinion, or any particular gender. It is a complete evil piece of crap. I'm willing to bet that this thing described how it was going to mutilate its victims. Mutilate its victims. Because that's what it's done to itself. You see, it's easy to make others do what you've done if you have yourself done it, right? Oh, let's get in this train and we'll go 30 miles an hour. People didn't want to get in trains, folks. They thought that going faster than what a horse could go would like shake you to pieces and destroy you. Like that's just too fast. Seriously. They felt that going that fast could, just tear you to pieces, limb from limb. Well, it doesn't. But, that first person was like, oh, it's perfectly safe, You can force other people to do stuff, it's not going to hurt them. Well, these people, right? These trans, they're very, very, very sick people. So did this person say they're going to do to the kids and the other victims what was done to them? I mean, this person may have been abused badly. In fact, it's highly likely that they were sexually abused very, very badly. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And so to threaten that that person, that freak, would do it to everyone else and the kids, I'm sure it was very bad. And that they don't want that out in the public because they don't want people to think and believe and see how these trannies think on the inside. You see, that's what people hide, folks. That's what they have to deal with inside their heads. They know they're wrong. They know what they've done and what they plan on doing is wrong. They hide it from others. Do you think drug dealers, do you think they write books describing all the crimes they have committed and want to commit and describe what they're going to do to their enemies? No, of course not. How about pimps, people who prostitute women? Do you think they write manifestos describing what they're going to do to their bitches and their hoes? No, they don't. They do the most awful things to them. They don't write it out, though, in detail. But you can bet that if one pimp, right, thinks that way, then they all basically do, because they follow a pattern of similar behavior based on their psychosis, their belief systems, their practices, right, their standard operating procedures. So these trannies are the same. They're suffering from, if not exactly the same, very similar psychosis, a sickness. It used to be called gender dysphoria. But once they start acting out on that gender dysphoria, then you have problems. Right? Someone may have some murder fantasy, but once they start acting out on them, it becomes very dangerous, because then others will do the same thing, right? So in a way, yeah, fear of copycat is the same. It's there. But I think very importantly is they don't want us to know how sick this one person was, and they don't want us to assume or presume that others think the same way. And that could be revealed in this, that, yeah, they have little groups, and they have little chats, and they have talks, and this is their plan. For if it were not, would we be hearing all of these violent threats coming from these leftists on a continual basis? Threats of violence, use of guns, for anyone who doesn't just stop them, but speaks out against them, who argues with them. Anybody that criticizes them needs to be shot. Truly, folks, these are some sick people. Are you prepared for the damage they could inflict? Are you prepared for what they're doing to this country? Who is allowing this? Who is causing this? Democrats, 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 and rhino Republicans. They are allowing this. They're encouraging it. They're pushing it. Same with the mainstream media. The mainstream media needs to be dismantled and taken apart. 100%. They need to 100% take the media apart. They need to look at this very closely. Now, folks, the way socialists, once they have power, take care of things is just murder all the bad people they don't like. That would fix it. And guess what? The media will not be protected from that. If America were to fall and a murderous regime take over, the media would be replaced. That's right. That's why Russia has Pravda, right? Truth. They have state-run media. The Soviet Union, the communists, had state-run media to protect the state's interests. That's right. Very important. It's very important that they only have one source of information out there, so there's no confusion. That's what these people are up to, folks. That's what they're up to. They want to hide what this freak was thinking and planning. They want to hide it because it is so gruesome and so revealing about what these trannies think. Hide and watch, just a little prediction. Just a little forecasting, just a little prognostication. Chance favors the prepared mind. Get ready, folks. These Democrats will unleash all manner of hell upon us, our wives, our families, and yeah, even our children.